Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of Blood Magic Developer Commentary. So a lot has changed when the last time I actually came and did a developer commentary, and well, since a lot changed, I think we're going to go through some of the major changes to the mod Blood Magic, and in fact some of these changes are going to be up in the next update, which will be 0.5.0. That's the version number, just in case you were wondering. And that is going to feature a lot of things like demon summoning and alchemy. So let's actually go into a few things that were, well, new since the last time I actually did a DevCom. So one of the things you'll be noticing is this little handy dandy structure, which is pretty much a ritual. Now, you might have noticed it from playing around with the mod before, and rituals are a relatively new concept in the mod. What you have to do is you have to take a master ritual stone and a bunch of ritual stones together, and by placing a master ritual stone in the center and these stones around in a certain configuration, you get your very own ritual. Now, once you place the ritual stone down, you need to take an elemental inscription tool, and all of the information on how to craft all this stuff and how it works is on the forum post, so if you're confused, go there. So we place a runestone here, and take your inscription tool. This one's water, and just by right-clicking it, let's actually go into game mode 0. Right-clicking it, it places it down, it consumes some of the stuff in the inscription tool, but by right-clicking again, you're able to refill it, and honestly, the owner doesn't really matter in the case of these, so it's almost a little moot by having an owner there. So let's actually grab a bit of food, because I think we are getting a little hungry. Let's go and game mode 0, just eat up. And let's actually go back into game mode 1. So with this is a ritual that you are going to need to do to progress in the mod. It takes quite a few stones, and what this is the ritual of binding. So what you need to do is say, let's get a normal diamond sword, and we're going to use these ritual stones, and we're an activation crystal. So activation crystal right here. Make sure it's bound to us, and it's bound to player 618, and this is used in activating the ritual. So we're also going to need to get an orb. Let's go with a magician's one, because that's nice and dandy. Take this out of the way, and we're going to go with one thing, which is the divination sigil, so that we'll be able to observe everything that we need. So let's see, we have 2600 LP currently, but that's not how much we need. We need a total of 10,000 for this ritual to work. So let's see, 10,000. Ooh, that's exactly exact. So all we need to do is activate it, and we then just throw our diamond sword in the center. However, because of the ritual process, you don't need the ritual stones specifically, but I'm just going to use them. Because of the process, it's going to get a little destructive here. So let's make sure that we don't get killed. Run! Let's just go in here, put out the fire. Did it go? Did it go? There we go! Now we have a bound blade. Now this bound blade, you have to shift right click to activate it, and it'll continuously consume some of your life power to activate. Now it's a strong blade. It's actually more than 7 attack power. And caution, it may give a bit of a bad day, because frankly this thing kicks ass. It causes weakness, which is actually what's needed to continue onwards. So if we grab one of these mobs and just kill it, let's actually just go into our game mode 1 again. We are already in that. And just spawn. Let's not look at the other stuff. We're going to spawn something like a spider. Let's just spawn a bunch of spiders in there, and then just kill it. It'll get weakness, but you'll also get other things, which when we look at them, they are very helpful. This is a weak blood shard. Now what happens actually is that when you use this blade or an energy blaster, it works with that too, You actually shatter this monster's soul network so that a fragment of it just bursts off of it. Now, it's kind of gruesome, that's because it is, but it's very helpful, especially when you go with other things that you need to use the weakness for. So let's go into other things. This is the Alchemic Chemistry Set. And what it is pretty much a very upgraded potion stand, and it's used for all of your alchemical goods. So let's see about getting a recipe so that we can show how it works. Okay, so we have this. I'm going to assume you know how to make it. You'll find everything in the forum post when it is released. It's not released yet. So what you're going to need is basically apprentice blood orb or some sort of orb that is bound to you, and we're going to need to fill it up with a lot of essence because frankly this process is going to be rather destructive. So we take our blood orb, and first we're going to combine 2 redstone, 1 piece of sugar, 1 glowstone, and 1 water bottle, and it'll start activating, consuming LP from your network. Now, if you don't have anything, it won't actually do anything. And we get our very own simple catalyst. Now, this simple catalyst is used in a lot of alchemy things. It's used in pretty much all the basic alchemy recipes, but we need to combine it with other things to actually make it work. So if we combine 2 blaze powder, netherrack, and a simple catalyst with a lava bucket, you unfortunately don't get the lava bucket back, though I may change that. Actually, I don't think I will. The first thing we get is Incendium. Incendium is the fire alchemy ingredient, and it represents all fire needs. So keep that in mind. So we have a bunch of things in here. So we have Incendium, Magicalis, we have Sanctus, Aether, and we also have Crepitus, Crystallos, and Terre. There will be more in the future, but these are pretty much the basic ingredients. Now we also have other things that we are going to need to do, and that is very important. So let's actually get a water bottle and go into our 4th tier altar over here. So grab, throw, and we'll throw a water bottle into here. Actually, it's an empty bottle. So bottle, here we go, glass bottle. We'll just grab one of these, and we'll also get a simple knife, a sacrificial knife, and this is a new thing. We actually fill it up, and you can see that the blood altar is filling up slowly and steadily with the stuff in here, and I should probably use it on this one. Yes, let's just grab that and use this. It'll fill a lot faster because we got a lot of self-sacrifice runes here. Glass bottle, throw in. It'll slowly transmute into its awesomeness, which is the potion flask. Now this potion flask you need to combine with other things to manage to get the filled potion flask. And if we get the potion flask here, you can see there's 8 swigs. So 8 out of 8 swigs left. So this is where the magic happens. If we throw this in here with a standard binding agent, this is actually made with the ice elemental ingredient and the holy one, which is Sanctus. So if we grab that and let's go with a simple ingredient, we're going to want to go with some sugar, and we'll go with some blaze powder. Let's actually get a bunch of it so that we know what we're doing. Okay, so we have all this stuff and potion flask here. So let's see what happens when we throw blaze powder in here. You can see it starts to work, and once we combine everything together, you can see that we have a potion of strength, 8 uses on this single thing. So if we go out of creative mode here, you can swig it away, and we'll have 2 minutes of strength on us, which is pretty good. Now, if we combine sugar, let's just see what happens. Boom! And there we go. So, now we have strength and speed. Now, there is one thing that I'd like to note before you go like, oh my gosh, there's so many potions. Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? You're just going to break the entire game like that. Well, there's a reason why it's not going to break the entire game, and let's actually grab some more brewing stuff. I think a gas tier is in order. Let's try to add a gas tier to here. Now you may be wondering, it will give you regeneration. Well, you might be right, but otherwise, it might blow up. So if you actually add too many potion ingredients to the flask and you're unsuccessful, it will blow up. And it's a standard binding agent. So if you use a better binding agent, which will happen in the future, you'll get a bit better. So let's actually grab our potion flask again, and let's actually get sugar. And I'm going to combine this stuff until we manage to get our strength and speed back. So I will see you in a moment. Moment! So this chemistry process is pretty volatile, as you may see, and what it actually is that for every single potion that it senses on the flask, it's going to pretty much say, okay, there's one here, so I'm just going to make it a 40% chance of what it was before. So adding the first ingredient is always going to be a 100% chance success rate. The next one is going to be 40%. The next one, I believe, is 5% or something like that. So it's going to be very difficult to get an uber potion with this method with just a simple standard binding agent. Though having two things on it is not out of the question. So what you do is, here's where the real customization comes into. So let's say I want to make that strength really freaking badass. So what I'm going to want to go and get are some interesting things. And one of the interesting things, if we look at the catalysts, are the mundane power catalysts, and we're going to have the lengthening catalysts. And these are pretty much, well, standard things. And you can, actually get to that in a moment. So if we put a mundane power catalyst in here, you can see that our strength is now strength 2 with only 1 minute duration. However, if we take a lengthening catalyst, we can then make that duration much better and turn it into instead 2 minutes and 40 seconds of strength 2 by adding 2 extra catalysts. And now, well, you can also do this for speed by simply getting another catalyst. Now there's also other ones. There's the average power catalyst and the average lengthening catalyst, as well as a greater power catalyst. So let's say we have an average power catalyst and a greater lengthening catalyst. We can throw the average power catalyst in, and what we'll get is speed 3. So it doesn't really matter which catalyst you use, because what it will do is, so you don't need to have a mundane lengthening catalyst and a mundane power catalyst to use the stronger cataly. You just have to use the one that it goes with. Sorry, I'm explaining that horribly. Okay, mundane catalyst gives you a level 2. The average ones give you a level 3, and the greater ones give you a level 4. So if we drink this, we'll get a lot of speed. No jump, because there's no jump effect on this. And then we'll also kick ass with our nice strength level 2. So that gives us a lot of customization with our potions, and we can just continuously work on that. So all these catalysts, or cataly, I can't really see which one they are. So all those catalysts you can find in dungeon loot. They might be the standard dungeons. I'll add them for every single dungeon that there is. Well, with some exceptions. And then you can also make them in alchemical stands with other processes which you can either find on a wiki or you can actually find it on the forum posts. And a quick note, let's actually go back into our game mode 1. This is the 4th tier altar, which require these large bloodstone bricks. These require those fancy little weak blood shards that you have. And this is the tier 5. Currently, you can't do anything with the tier 5. but oh well. So we went over all of the stuff really needed to understand with the potion ingredients. We can actually combine aspects together to get other things, but now comes the real fun part of the mod. Demon summoning. Now demon summoning is very difficult to get right away because it requires some hard math to get all of the stuff ready. So what we have here are arcane pedestals and an arcane plinth. And they're pretty simple in their utilization. Let's get this away, and probably this. We'll want this just in case. So you place your ingredients over on here, and then you put your blood orb on here. That's pretty simple, isn't it? Well, it gets a little interesting when you go with some more complex stuff. So let's go and try to summon a demon. So the first thing we'll want to do is actually probably get some milk to get rid of that darn speed effect, because it does get annoying. There we go. Let's put you there. Actually, yeah, let's put you there. So we have this here, and for the first summoning, we're only going to need these 6 in here, and it's pretty simple. It doesn't matter which direction. They can be in that direction or this direction. It doesn't matter. And what we're going to go with is a pretty simple system. Terre, 2 aether, which is wind. So 1 piece of earth, 2 pieces of wind, and 3 pieces of sanctus. So let's stand back. So there goes 1 ingredient, and this is starting the demon summoning process. So let's go into game mode 0, and we're going to get our blade ready. Eat a bit. And here is the fallen angel. Yes, it's using my skin because I was lazy when I made the first one. Okay, so now this one is freaking angry. We're going to want to get a strength potion and a speed potion because it's a pretty strong range attack. Let's go in. Dang it. Attack! And there we go. So we have tamed our first demon. And what we get from killing a demon is its spawn egg. So we spawn a fallen angel. And all we need to do really is press it, and now it's good. So it doesn't hate us. Only the summoning process rips it out of its area, and frankly it's not very happy about that. So all we need to do is bring a weak blood orb to it as recompense, and then it will follow us. So right now it's staying. If we right click it again, it'll leave its staying protocol, and it'll start to follow us wherever we are. And if we say manage to spawn something a little more ghastly, say a ghast, it will happily defend us. Attack! Attack, my fellow minion. Yeah, aren't you supposed to... You suck. Okay, come on. Fight! I guess because I didn't really attack him. Sigh. Not really in range. You're stupid. Okay, so obviously the protocol is not very happy at me. Something about maybe being a stupid AI, but I blame Mojang for that. Oh, come on. But oh well. So it works. You got a demon. If we were to kill it again, it will drop a spawn egg again. So that we'll be able to reclaim our demon if it were to die in battle. Now I might change that. There should probably be a penalty for that. But oh well. So there are some more demons that we can go through. Let's just go through. This is a testing recipe, by the way. It's not just going to be simple 6 cobblestone and spawn. We're going to go with that. And by the way, the bound sword will continuously eat you alive, so you don't want to have it activated all the time, or else it'll make your day horrible. So here's a lower guardian. And it will kick you to submission. So you gotta be careful when you're within range of it, or else you'll really mess up day-wise. So let's actually go into creative again once more and check out the various spawn eggs that we have and test them out one by one. Now we're not going to go into too much stuff about them and the sizes of them may change as well as their menacing attire. So let's actually keep them. So here we have a Spawn Bile Demon. This one is more of a boss-like thing. And it is pretty robust, has the same kicking attack as the Lower Guardian, though it does it a bit stronger. So you're going to want to be wary about that. I'd probably go with ranged attacks, and also it's slow as hell, so you might want to make sure to note that. Now another one. A Fire Demon. This one has ranged attacks as well, so if we were to attack it, it won't be very happy at us. So you gotta keep that in mind. It'd probably be a good idea to attack this with some fire resistance potions or other things that will stop it. But there you go. Now this one is probably a really menacing one, though you won't really be able to comprehend that at first glance. Now the first glance is always misleading in these circumstances, so you better be careful about that. So what we're going to go is game mode 0, and we'll do a small earth golem. So here it is. Pretty simple, right? Let's whack it, or attempt to whack it at least. Hey, come back here. It's really freaking fast, and if you attack it, it'll attack you with slowness. Extreme slowness. If you don't have any sort of speed buff, it'll be very difficult to attack it without ranged attacks. So be careful about that. And finally, we have one of my favorite ones, the Ice Demon. It's very nice, isn't it? So what it does is that it's able to easily circumvent the ice, and it can just go walk on it, walk on the water, and everything. I'm going to have to change some of the stuff there. And also it gives a nice attack, which also inflicts slowness. So if you are not careful, it can really mess you up. This might be a good thing to bring in the Nether, because the ice attacks actually do extra damage to Nether mobs. So be wary about all of the attributes that each and every single demon gives you, because you may find them very useful when you're, well, coming to terms with a lot of the menacingness. So that's all the time we have for this episode of not EE Power. That would be very fun, but that's all the time we have for this episode of Blood Magic Developer Commentary. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. And they will be out more frequently than the last ones were. WayofTime here. Summy signing off and summoning a bunch of demons that will probably not be friends anytime soon. Have a wonderful day. I better run.